All right, so it's time for the review of or not All Stars. We're done with All Stars, but it's time for RuPaul's Drag Race Season 10 review. We didn't get much of a break, so glad to be back reviewing this again so soon. So we're going to start off today's episode with a little something different. We're going to do a fun activity at the beginning of each episode. Sometimes they're going to correlate with what's going on in the episode, sometimes not. We didn't know ahead of time what the challenge was going to be, so we kind of had to improvise. So with today's challenge, everyone's going to decorate a cup or a shot glass representing a drag queen that they drew. I'll give you more details here in a minute. So I want everyone to go ahead and get ready. Jay and Elias will both be competing with some other special guests. And may the best cup win. So this season of RuPaul's Drag Race, we are going to try something different. We're going to try to have some sort of activity or challenge to kind of get some more people involved and just make the episodes a little bit more fun and creative before we talk about the episode itself. So this week, everyone needed to decorate a shot glass to represent a queen that they drew from All Stars Season 3. Since we're the most familiar with them right now, we don't really know the Season 10 queens that well yet. So they had to decorate the shot glass to represent that queen, and then they also needed to create a drink for me to try, hopefully they're nice, that really captures the essence of that drag queen. So I picked my favorite drag queen from All Stars Season 3, Bendela Creme, and this is my shot glass version of her. If this looks familiar, it is her disco look from this season. So it looks really, really well. I loved her puff balls in that dress, even though it was one she was red for the most. This is my shot glass version of her. I didn't make a drink because I'm not competing in this challenge. I would be biased if I was a judge and competing. But let's hear from what some of the other people have. All right, our first contender would like to remain anonymous. So they drew BB Zahara Bonet. So this is their BB Zahara Bonet shot glass. It is very jungle cat, representative of her African background. And the drink is called Camaroo. So we're going to give it a try. The ingredients that he listed was just everything that was available at our selection of drinks. So this could be really good, or it's probably just going to be really bad. So hopefully it's not super gross. So let's try it. Actually not the worst thing that I've tasted. It's still kind of gross, but it's really sweet. It kind of like if I drank straight up mouthwash. But yeah, I would say aesthetically it was really creative. The drink itself was very creative, but we'll see. I will give it a 2 out of 5 on taste and a 4 out of 5 on creativity and looks. All right, so Jay made our next drink. So Jay, would you like to tell us who the drag queen is that you drew?
Yeah, my drag queen was Shangela, and my inspiration for making her shot glass was I went with her season 2 aesthetic where she was very new to drag. So as you can see, it's very plain, not much to it. There's an ear of corn on there because Nick was obsessed with her corn look.
I do like corn.
I made sort of like a lemon drop kind of themed shot. So this one's called the Lemon Death Drop. As a lot of queens
awesome.
Do death drop. So.
Well, I would say this look is very Shangela. Her head's rolling off the shot glass. Very creative. I really like the hair and the corn. I really like how the glue in the paint is still wet. So I will definitely be consuming some toxic chemicals. So that's very exciting.
Can you do a close-up of the cup?
Yes, here's a close-up of the cup. There we go. Very Shangela. Is it Shangela Laquifa Watley? Watley. Mm-hmm. All right, let's see. What side has the least amount of paint on it?
I tried to draw Hallelujah in the yellow, but it smeared.
Would you like to hold the head for me? All right, let's see how this tastes. It's actually really good. It tastes like lemonade.
Your lips are yellow.
Yep, it's a lot of paint on here. So, well, congratulations. I thought this was really good. I would say Aesthetically, you definitely get a 4 for creativity in terms of the look of the cup. And I would say drink wise, it's definitely a 4 as well. I thought it was really good. And it's very much that like citrusy excitement that Shangela brings to the table.
Well, it's lemon's yellow like corn, so hey.
Yellow. All right. So thank you so much for competing, and we'll see what happens. All right, so we're welcoming a new face on here. This is my friend Dan. Say hello, Dan.
Hi, guys.
And which queen did you draw for your inspiration?
I got Kennedy Davenport.
Kennedy Davenport. So what is your drink called? I really like the dress. Is this recycled foam from last season?
Well, you know, you have to look fabulous.
All right, and there's lots of rhinestones all over her face. Very Kennedy, so I appreciate that. Tell us a little bit about the drink itself.
So we have got some vanilla vodka in it.
Very
We've
nice.
got some Kahlua and some tonic.
I do appreciate that there's a recipe and ingredients and that it's not just all of the things at once. And I do not see paint anywhere on here, so that's nice. It's organic, I think, maybe.
Just be careful you don't lose an eye.
All right. Yeah, it is a very, this is going to be difficult to drink out of. Would you like to hold her head?
Sure.
All right. Let's see what this tastes like. Very, is there Kahlua in there, you said?
Yeah.
Okay, I taste the Kahlua, a lot of Kahlua. It's very caramely. It kind of makes me think of like a fudgesicle a little bit. It's very interesting. Well, I would say in terms of presentation and creativity on the look, I think that it gets a 5. It looks really, really pretty, and it's very Kennedy. And then I would say taste-wise, it is a 4. Awesome. Well, good job. Thank you. I hope you make more of these drinks in the future. All right, let's see who our next contestant is. All right, so we have another familiar face here. We have Elias. Say hey, Elias.
Hello.
All right, so Elias, who is the drag queen that inspired your drink tonight?
Trixie Mattel.
This is very Trixie. I like it a lot. A lot of pink, which is very Trixie. Big lips and big eyes and big hair. And yeah, pink. It's all there. So tell us a little bit about the drink itself.
Well, it has cream soda,
Okay, I like cream soda.
grenadine,
Don't know what that
smeared
means.
off vanilla,
All right.
and J&R Scotch and whiskey.
All right, let's see. See how this tastes. And this one I can actually drink out of without risking
And it's
my
called
life.
Trixie's Pinky Winky.
God. Well, I hope tucked or untucked. Okay. Oh. That is very a familiar taste to me actually since I've been sick lately. It reminds me a lot of cough syrup. I would say taste, it is a 2, but creativity and look-wise, it is a 5. I really like this Trixie look. All right, so let's see who our top 2 competitors are. All right, so I'm here with the top 2. Now, this isn't a RuPaul's Drag Race conspiracy because we did have the same top 4 as we did for the finale for All Stars 3. And I did pick Kennedy and Trixie for the finalists. I will say that this time, Kennedy deserved to be in the top 2. I'm sorry, Shangela, your drink wasn't quite there, but it was still really good. And I'm also sorry, BB. But so the top 2, I really like them a lot. Creativity-wise, they were both really, really great. They both tasted really good. I think that I'm going to have to go with, as our winner of RuPaul's Drag Race Review, first ever competition, I'm going to have to go with Kennedy. You're a winner, baby. Shantae, you stay. Trixie, sashay away. Aw. What good sports. I'm sorry, Shangela, you didn't make it again, but you deserved it in the real deal. All right, well, thank you guys so much for competing. I look forward to us all competing again next week, and hopefully that things I drink are less covered in paint and less gross. All right, right, so that was a fun mini challenge that we did before the episode. So let's go ahead and get into the review of the episode. So let's first talk about the entrances. Did either of you have a favorite queen entrance that you saw? I know it's hard to remember everyone's names at this point, but if you want to describe the dress that you saw, and then I'll put up a picture up later. Go ahead.
I liked Mateo.
What would their
Vanessa?
Their name, the gold, like the
Vanessa Mateo.
yeah, like the wiring and the gold.
Yeah.
That was one of my favorites.
No, I think that was my favorite as well. I really liked the gold, and it was just very, it's hard to describe. It did make me think of Alyssa Edwards' Snatch Game. No wire hangers. What did you think? Who was your favorite entrance look?
Yeah, it is hard to remember just because there were so many of them in the first episode.
Mhm.
But one that kind of stood out in my head, and I'm not sure if it's the one that we were talking about earlier, but I really liked Miss Crackers. She had like the little blonde wig and just her really
Like the ball on top?
yes, and her like really pretty like blue sequins dress. She just looked really like elegant, and I liked it a lot. It stood out to me.
Yeah, I thought hers was really good. It probably didn't stand out to me as much as some of the other ones did. But I think I agree with you, Elias. The gold one was my favorite.
Yeah.
It was very like structured and detailed, but it wasn't like too much.
Yeah.
It was very like elegant. So let's talk about let's talk a little bit about the mini challenge. So like we said before, there was a lot of queens, a lot of very talented queens, but I think what hurt them a lot is I honestly did not pay attention to them one bit throughout the mini challenge because I was so excited to see some of my favorite queens like Jinx and Detox and so many queens out there. A lot of the All-Star queens were there. I'm pretty sure they were just left over. Like, yeah, they were probably still loitering from All-Stars 3 and just wandered on set that day. It was exciting. Did you guys have any strong feelings about the mini challenge? I mean, I thought they all did good.
Yeah.
I mean, it was cool to kind of see all the previous queens come in and have the little cameos while the other, like the new queens like did their thing on stage. So that was kind of like a cool, like little, kind of like a mini big event. But I liked it a lot.
Like a flashback from the past.
Yeah, and it's good. It's nice to see their input too.
Yeah.
It's really exciting to see what their first impressions of these queens are because
It's a
who
big
better-
season 10.
right, it is. It's 10 years of the show. Like, who would have thought a show about drag queens becoming so mainstream and so popular and being around for 10 years and still being successful? Minus season 7. But, all right, so who, in your opinion, do you think was the most attractive out of drag?
Well, I think we all have the same person in mind. Elias.
Cameron Michaels.
Cameron Michaels is very attractive out of drag. He's very,
Yum.
let's say, healthy.
Yum yum
He
yum.
was bragging about being a gym rat, and then he'll come in and throw on some pads and a wig, and tuck and do his thing in drag. So I mean, he's
He works it both ways.
he
So
does.
Yeah, so I would say pretty unanimous. There's a lot of attractive, though, contestants this year. A lot of them...
I will say Dusty Bottoms is very attractive out of drag.
Mhm.
He's got a pretty face, and
Nice teeth.
as Nick has mentioned, a lot of the queens this season have a lot of nice teeth. It's the season of the good teeth.
Teeth. So smiles make a great first impression. And you know what? If we know anything from season 9, all it takes to skate your way at least through the first few episodes up until you have to lip sync is a nice smile. Just ask Valentina.
Yeah,
Sorry, that was a little shady.
that
But
was really shady.
she has a very good smile. There was a compliment in there, so
You're just aggressively complimenting her.
I'm aggressively complimenting you. All right, so let's talk about the runway looks. So who do you think the best runway look was? Any opinions? Or you can describe it.
Mine would be the one with the playing cards. I will say that the details and the skirt, the way it was like ruffled, I like that a lot. The only thing that I would say is for the top part, the corset top part, would be maybe if she had done like a red heart shaped corset, or like you had mentioned, flipping the cards backwards, so it was like a contrast from the
Yeah.
skirt. But even the hair, like the hair was very well done and executed. That was that was my favorite women for the night.
I think my favorite of the night was Miss Crackers. I really loved the blue, and when she kind of started talking about how she didn't really have a good concept going, and then once she got those hats and traded other stuff for them, she really did so much with them. I loved how she used like the center part for her head, and she used the outer rim to make like a giant collar. It was really, really pretty. I would say my only disagreement on the card one, I thought it was very creative, and I thought it was really cool. But I felt like each segment of the dress, from the skirt to the top to the hat, all seemed like very different pieces of very different outfits. They all individually, well, except for the top and the middle, but the top and the dress, they were very detailed and cool, but they didn't really match well together.
Well, they only have so much time to get it done. So
No, that's true.
In their defense.
I just felt like it was different concepts. What did you think, Elias? Who was your favorite?
I liked Miss Cracker a lot, and then the one that won the challenge, she executed it very well.
Mhm.
So it was Miss Cracker was probably my favorite, but the black bags one looked really
Gloves.
Yeah.
with the gloves looked. I thought it was well executed.
It was very chic. It was very high fashion. The way that she, put it together. Yeah, I mean, she definitely deserved to win.
I thought that it was like a very good concept, and I thought it was very pretty, very, very high fashion. My only critique on it is it's something that I've seen in terms of the silhouette on a lot of other queens in the show. It's something I could picture, like, I feel like I've pictured Roxy wearing it. I feel like I've pictured a lot of other people wearing that same kind of like very open down the middle, like black feathery type of look down the sides. But it was really good. I mean, she still made it out of a completely new created material, so that's great. Very talented. Yeah. So let's talk about who we thought we liked the least from the runway, because I definitely think a lot of us disagreed with some of RuPaul's decisions in terms of who was in the bottom. So, Elias, who did you think was the worst dress out of all of them?
Well, the caution tape. There was other worse ones, but the caution tape that looked so easy to me, and I'm like, it was boring.
Yeah.
You could have done that.
That's
Yeah,
you just put a silhouette and then just like draped caution tape. She didn't even add, if she would have added other elements in that, but no, you could do that in like 10 minutes if you're really good at putting something together real quick.
Yeah, it was very much like oh my gosh, who was it? Kimora Black, where she had that princess challenge,
Oh yeah.
and really all she did was she wrapped the blanket around herself and pinned it up, and it's like, I'm a Tarzan lady, and it was the wrapped around her neck, hanging down, and she tied a belt around her waist, and that was her dress. It didn't look like there was. I'm sure there was more to it, but it didn't look like there was.
And she
more
just
to
put
it.
a headpiece on, where everybody else added different elements. Even if they didn't execute it very well,
Yeah.
they still added different elements. She just added caution tape everywhere.
Yeah, I agree with you there. I thought it was definitely should have been one of the bottom dresses. What did you think in terms of bottoms?
Oh, Aquaria, man, that was just bad. Like the little boopy, like with that
Little Bo Peep show.
yeah, like the clamshell hoop skirt thing and the little like
She's
glitter nipples. Like what the? I mean, no.
she was framing her clam with her clam.
No, no, that was bottom two to me right there. How she was safe is just I can't comprehend.
I would say I can't comprehend how Asia was safe.
Oh yeah.
The basket.
It was like her Target basket runneth over. It looked like she went. You know when you walk into Target and they have everything that's clearanced that they're just trying to get rid of for like $1.
Dollar section aisles.
That's what it looked like, and she just put it all over herself. I mean, it was pretty comparable, I would say, to Jiggly Caliente's
God,
Apocalypse.
Yeah,
Like,
yeah.
I think the only thing she was missing was a pair of legs dangling from her side, or
Big potato.
she should have borrowed some of that tinfoil. We would have baked her at 350, just like Jiggly. No, I thought that one was. I'm really surprised no one called her out and that she was just scooted off as safe.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I definitely don't think that the actual bottom two that were selected were worse than those three dresses.
I agree.
I think we all had pretty good reasons for picking those.
I just kind of like think back and wonder what goes through Rue's mind when she decides who's safe and who's not safe. Like, I wonder if they did something in the mini challenge that kind of like balanced out them being safe from their runway looks. I don't get it. Like, it's very strange to me.
That could be because I think Asia O'Hara she won the mini challenge, right?
Yeah.
Yeah,
So that might have weighed in her favor.
possibly.
And I think sometimes the way they present the dress and they walk out, like they're very confident,
Yeah.
or they're really selling it. Their personality can carry a dress a long way. I mean, they talk about how like Alyssa Edwards, she's very talented. I'm not throwing shade by any means, but she can do things on stage and not live up to some of the standards of what the challenge is, but they love her so much, or she provides such a personality along with it, that's easy to overlook sometimes.
Yeah, it's baffling to me.
So we talked about. So let's talk about the lip sync. So I think we were all in pretty big consensus that there was a clear winner, that Calorie did an amazing job. I would say for the first lip sync of the season, she set the bar high. I'm hoping this isn't going to be a season like All Stars 3 where the lip sync songs aren't very good, or RuPaul's season 9 where just the lip sync themselves aren't very good. So I'm hoping that this is setting a high bar and setting the tone for what we're going to see high energy for the rest of the season.
No, I think for season 9 the lip syncs were pretty strong. I mean, they did say, like, because if you remember last season they did the top 4 and they lip synced their way to the crown. So,
but they did the top 4 lip sync for the crown, and then RuPaul even said it. He said that this season has been deemed as the weak lip sync season because of Charlie, Valentina. I'm forgetting someone else. There was a lot of weak lip syncs and very low energy.
But look at Trinity and look at Peppermint.
Peppermint did a really good job.
Yeah.
But that's why though they did that lip sync at the end, was they were redeeming some of the bad ones that happened. And like Nina Bonina, some of hers, she didn't quite like pull it out on all of them. And sometimes it was like, wow, you're both really bad. Who's the best of the worst?
Yeah.
But there were some good ones. Peppermint for sure was a lip sync assassin.
Trinity, that Britney Spears song against Charlie. Remember how she turned that out?
Yeah, but then again, it's hard to compare because Charlie just stood there.
Yeah.
So there was a lot of giving up on the lip syncs. So I'm glad to see that high energy now. Let's talk about. I would say, let's talk a little bit about the Untucked episode. I'm so glad they're airing it right after each episode now. Let's talk about Eureka. So Eureka's back for season 10. She took Ru up on her offer. How do we feel about Eureka? How do you feel she's done so far?
I think that she has the advantage over the other girls just because she has been there for the first few episodes of last season. She knows what to expect. She knows, how the game is played. So she does have the advantage. I'm glad that she came back. I think she does have a lot to offer the competition with her own aesthetic and how, she's a very strong competitor. So I'm kind of looking forward to seeing what she'll bring to the season.
How about you, Elias?
Yeah, I think she's been doing well so far. I mean, she is a strong competitor, and she deserves to come back. She hurt herself, so let's see what she has to bring now.
Yeah, I hope they don't do as much of an intense challenge as they did for season 9, because I think that was a mistake on RuPaul's part, because he's putting the talent that he's hired at risk. So I don't want to see any more people go home that don't deserve to go home. So I would also say for Eureka, it's been nice to see like a softer side of her. We had to see her take a queen aside and talk to her during the Untucked, and then we also got to see her talking a little bit more about her family a little bit. Another topic I want to talk about with the Untucked is kind of the beef between Aquaria and between Miss Cracker. It was pointed out at the beginning of the episode that they have a very similar aesthetic. Sometimes they're considered interchangeable, and they're a little bit competitive with one another. And then Aquaria started pointing out while they're getting ready for the runway that, like, oh my gosh, people are doing the same eyebrows as me. And she was throwing a lot of shade, and it kind of bothered me. And then when she was doing it in Untucked, it frustrated me even more because everyone was so willing to gang up on Miss Cracker, which I get it, that's part of Untucked. But here's why I think it's kind of not a good thing for them to be doing this, because a lot of the queens complain that they're compared to other queens. Like, oh, like, this person's very Bianca Del Rio, or this person's very Jinx Monsoon, or this person's very Roxy. And they're constantly being compared, like, you're ripping that person off. What people don't understand is, especially this season, there's a lot of young queens, and a lot of these queens learn how to do their makeup watching YouTube tutorials on people and queens that they look up to. And Miss Cracker, she actually has her own YouTube channel where she reviews RuPaul Drag Race and talks about the queens and talks about their looks. Like, she pays a lot of attention to what they're doing, and she's going to learn and adapt those things that she likes to her style. So I don't think it's fair for Aquaria to be saying that someone's copying her look, because honestly, one, her look or her aesthetic with her makeup's not that unique. It's something that a lot of the queens are learning on how to do their makeup online, And if someone's inspired by that, or someone like, there's a lot of drag trends that a lot of people tend to do. Like the hair loaf is something that we've seen a lot of recently. We've seen
the flesh colored gloves that they put their nails on.
right. A lot
They're
of
all doing the same
queens.
thing.
Yeah.
A lot of queens wear that kind of like see-through nude color and like with rhinestones on it. I don't think it's fair to say other people are copying off you because they both have very, very different looks. But you know what? Depending on where you learned it, your makeup aesthetics might be very similar. I saw, I can't remember the name of the queen, but some of the makeup looked very similar to Bianca Del Rio's eyes. As they're inspired by these people on episodes, you should be flattered by that. And I don't think you can take it personal. I don't think you can be bitter and upset about it. I mean, Miss Cracker is the one that said she's usually the salty one, but it seems like Aquaria is the salty one this season.
Yeah.
So I just kind of want to get that off my chest. I don't think it's fair to. I think it's bullying, and she's really just trying to cry out for attention, and it's not the right way to do it.
It's too early in the season to be kind of calling that kind of stuff out. Like, let's get further into the competition, and then you can start saying, "Oh, well, you know, you've been looking a lot like me this season." You know, address it then. Don't. Not the first
Well,
episode.
she also may be a little jealous because Miss Cracker did better in the challenge.
Right. And I don't even think it's something that she needs to address. I mean, you know what? If you don't like that someone looks the same as you, then change your look. It happens. We've had queens come in and their entrance looks being almost identical. I
Yeah.
believe that was in season 2?
Season 3.
Season 3? So it happens. You can't be bitter about it. And you know what? She did it better this episode. So don't get bitter, get better. I
If
mean,
you feel like someone's copying what you're doing, then change it up.
right? Do a better
Stand
version
out.
of it. Yeah. And you know what? If you don't want people to be inspired by things you do, don't put it all over Instagram.
Or YouTube.
Yeah. So I would say that's about it for this episode, unless either of you guys had anything else you wanted to weigh in on.
No.
All right. So we're gonna see you guys next week with hopefully another exciting challenge and more RuPaul reviews. I'm hoping we get to know these queens a little bit better as we filter them out a little bit.
Yeah.
So,
There's a lot.
all right. This is Nick signing off. Have a great night, guys.
Bye.
Bye.
If you like this episode of Nick's Nerd Network, please like and subscribe. If you have different opinions or would like to share some of your ideas, please share these in the comment section below. Please keep it constructive and friendly. Thanks so much for watching and have a wonderful day.